Episode 7 of Paradise, titled The Day, is 58 minutes long, and wow, what an episode it is. And this series, after episode 6, was renewed for a second season, so this would change the whole trajectory of how this season 1 will end. The Day is a flashback to everything that's culminating and how the whole aspect and how the world supposedly ended. We get flashbacks, and we start in 1962, where we see a general listening in on the radio about the Cuban Missile Crisis and how it's been averted, it's over, nuclear war is not happening. But then his wife comes in, and he tells his wife that this will happen eventually. It's just someone will have their finger on the trigger, and it won't be averted. We see that happening, and then he goes out of his room and kind of puts the lights in his room on and off, on and off. That will have ramifications in the near future. We then find out how everything happened and what the global catastrophe was. It was the eruption of this Antarctic supervolcano which led to nuclear war, also tsunamis and earthquake that wreaked havoc globally. The US government is caught unprepared after they find out the scientific analysts were wrong, that they thought they had weeks ahead to plan. The White House then begins its evacuation planning, including a pre-recorded message from President Bradford, reassuring the populace that everything's okay. But then Xavier Collins learns that his wife, Terry, is not where she's supposed to be, and the entire episode is him trying to get his wife to safety while also balancing out how to protect and save the president. It's chaos like crazy. He asks Bradford for help and a place for Terry to go with a nearby military base that is in Atlanta. He kind of gets on the phone, makes calls, whatever, how to do everything. And due to the failing mobile networking system, the satellites and everything, we see Xavier cannot communicate with her consistently to track her progress and where she's going. He tells her to get where she's supposed to be, steal a car, and just get where you are going. But then things take a change, and Bradford decides to cancel the pre-recorded message and goes live to address the American people about the truth of what's happening in real time. This causes panic, and Xavier Collins realizes that. So he goes to the weapons infirmary, grabs weapons, and tells everyone to stand guard. Once the message is out, the president's getting ready to leave with Collins and everyone, and it's just madness, craziness ensues, and it's just like, whew, whoa, what is happening? So everyone, Xavier, president, his cabinet members, they get to Air Force One, and Xavier is trying to keep calling his wife Terry. And we see the emotional distress that's going on with that because he's juggling so many things at one time. His kids are safe. They're on the plane already. Then Xavier confronts Bradford and says that you had time to tell me what was going on, but you didn't. It's a back and forth, tit for tat. They argue, and Bradford tells Xavier to get on the plane for your kids. They get on the plane, and all of a sudden, they're in the air, and then the president now is in a meeting. We then see Sinatra sitting there randomly, just, okay, what's going on? He then has to figure out what to do. By the general, he's given an order to launch these nuclear weapons because every other nation is launching it because of the eruption of the supervolcano in Antarctica. We then see kind of Bradford, before this, provide Xavier with a satellite phone to reach Terry. Xavier calls Terry. But all the while, however, we see that Bradford is talking to Sinatra. And Sinatra's telling Bradford, don't do this. And then we get the backstory of Bradford talking about a general who said, instead of, these nuclear codes, the red card, why not do this blue option? The blue option is an EMP network installed after the Cuban Missile Crisis by the general in the beginning to electronically fry any nuclear weapons, satellites, global positioning things, cell phones, mobile networks, whatever it is, to stop things from happening. Well, we see, and we don't know if it actually worked. He pushed the button, he's looking at, and everything's hitting, and it's like, whoa, what is going on? Xavier sees that Atlanta is gone. The phone that Terry is on cuts off. Then we go back to present day, where Xavier is face to face with Sinatra. And we see that Sinatra is holding a tape recorder and says that, no, your wife is alive. But I need an ultimatum. You need to stop everything. But first, let me make a phone call. Sinatra also reveals that, in a way, she has the upper hand. And kind of, we don't know where Presley is, his daughter. But then it's like, oh, okay. All right, wait a minute. Hold on. What's going on here? And then Sinatra gives him an ultimatum. You stop all this nonsense, I will tell you where your wife and your daughter are. Whoa. And then that's the end of the episode. So a lot of crazy things happened in episode 7. Very well written, very well done. Knowing how everything happened and how a supervolcano in Antarctica, the eruption caused tsunamis and earthquakes, which led to nuclear war, is just crazy and mind-blowing. What's going to happen in episode 8? What happened to President Bradford? Why? And basically Sinatra says that, someone in the bunker wasn't the one who did it. It was someone else from the outside, evidently. Okay, like I stated, this has been renewed for a second season. What's going to happen? The aspect and the craziness and emotions you feel in this episode are insane. It's like, all right, Xavier, I understand you can't get through your wife, but focus on what you're doing. Or something else happened. It's like, wait a minute. Sinatra is someone who gives me a headache, and it's just like, you are ruthless in a way, but you're so annoying. And it's just like, all right, you need to stop. I like how the show is going. I like where it's going. It took a while to get into. It was very drawn out for the first, I want to say, 5 episodes. Then it picked up with episode 6. Went on a high course with episode 7. And now, the season 1 finale, episode 8, is going to be very, very interesting. Can't wait to see what happens, and it's going to be fun. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about episode 7 of Paradise, titled The Day. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? Did you like how the story progressed? What do you think is going to happen in the season 1 finale? What are you looking forward to will happen in season 2? How do you think the show will continue? And what do you think the fallout will be after everything happened? And do you think that there'll be another president? And what do you think will happen to Xavier Collins and his family? And do you think that Sinatra will be put to the side? Let me know in the comment section about all the questions I just asked. I'm Mr. Filmstock. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week for my episode 8 season 1 finale of Paradise.